Taurus, welcome back for your February update. There is a separate video for your romance house. However, I have pulled a card in relation to your Venus house. Now, I've tried to cover a broad range of areas that can potentially come up for you, as well as if you are wanting a booking, you can go to the link directly below. I am live on this channel regularly, as well as I do cover the twin flame psychic downloads. I do them on this channel. There is a separate channel I've launched. The link will be inside the video. It's Twin Flame Alchemist Union. If you do want to go and have a look, you can get each zodiac sign directly connected to your zodiac. Now, okay, overall in your energy, moving into February, I'm feeling as though you're having this sense that there's aspects of missing information. You don't quite know how to proceed forward. You've got to gauge as to how you feel directly about something, but there can be an aspect of anxiousness there. I do feel some of you are actually going to have communication in relation to this, and it might take you off guard to a point you're unsure how to proceed and you still do not have enough information. I feel the information is going to continue to come through for the next potentially 4 to 8 weeks. Again, that is connected to the eclipse. But again, to get everything in balance of what you're directly working on at the moment is going to take up to 6 months. So it's not that there won't be movement in the areas that you're working on currently. It's more that you will be pushed beyond a point that feels naturally comfortable. Because with the transit of Uranus, it's challenging you to spiritually grow beyond points of stagnancy. The communication coming through will, to a degree, alleviate that. But at the same time, unless you vibrationally feel comfortable with the spiritual changes that are coming up for you, you may delay those things because you spiritually feel you need more information. There's this energy coming through that your zodiac sign is, and all of us are creatures of, habits and ways of doing things. It might take you off center to a point it's unnaturally comfortable, which again is connected to the spiritual growth you're going to be going through this year. But you need to gain a close bond with your intuition when it does come to proceeding forward. If you can find the home inside over the home outside, you're going to feel more grounded to handle any dynamics that are coming towards you this year. It does take a lot of work to actually get to that place. And even when we have got there, we will retreat back over old ground to come to that comfortable essence, especially since between 2016 all the way through to 2026, there are transformations, more so in 2020, but definitely with the Pluto transit, we are going through a great deal of transformations. In your work domain, I do feel as though providing internally you are feeling grounded and comfortable, things will flow well. Some of you are not happy with the way in which employment is at the moment for you, and it doesn't mean that there's not enough cash, or it's more there's something inside you saying this isn't just it. There's more to me, there's more to my spiritual needs than just this current way of doing something. If you can keep grounded, you will have a light inside of yourself separate to that situation. And I feel as though that's really the key in keeping yourself grounded with the way you deal with your finances, with the way you deal with your employment. I do feel connected to the sun frequency. It's going to assist you with this. And this can be by the 3rd week as well. I'm also hearing 3rd time lucky. Those of you who are applying for jobs, I do feel you will be hearing through from those. Movement again through March will start really moving forward, but we are mid-year having a retrograde again. Get to the point where if you can keep yourself internally on axis, regardless of what's going on around you, like a tornado, because family can be doing this to you at the moment, I'm hearing. That nothing stays the same forever. It's an impermanence, okay? So, regardless of painting a picture, and that's the way I wanted it to be, we all do that. If we can get comfortable with the aspect that this month, it's a test for you. If you can keep going, I feel you'll keep quite balanced. Also, I'm hearing, if you're triggered, be mindful, connected to your expenditure, because it can be You're going to the shops, you're buying unnecessary items because it's filling that void, the pain body experience. Or people might be lagging and dragging finances out of you, and this is causing an imbalance as well. So if you can keep grounded, it's going to assist you to be coherent when dealing with your finances. I don't have a bad feeling in relation to that, but I do feel both employment-wise, potentially business ventures are coming through for you. But you're trying to make a full 360 of the situation for those of you that's relevant. To make sure that this bodes well. In any lessons or education for those of you who are studying, I do feel that you're in the grit of it, and it can be that you've committed to a path and you're trying to see the situation through. If you're unsure about a path you chose physically, for education, it may be a temporary pause due to the fact that you're wanting to invest in something that is long term. Some of you also may understand that this course is going to take you down the road long term at a financial level, so you're entertaining it and you're willing to do the work that you actually need to do. Some of you also at an education level might not want to move on from a job, and again, that can be a lesson for you. Is it empowering for you? Is it taking your power away? Is it spiritually balancing you? Are you getting off axis with this? These lessons, regardless, I feel you're going to be stuck in a situation very separate to higher education to learn something and understand where your power is, because the clarification card is power, and power doesn't have to be aggressive, assertive, domineering. It can be understanding your truth of what things are and knowing that through that lesson you can always say no. You can change directions. You're a trooper. You're also going to spiritually graduate in a sense. And I do feel you're going to be, I feel you're, how do I put it? You're grateful for what you have. Some of you may have a business venture that there has been other groups directly involved in, and you're remaining in it to show gratitude to the situation because it was there for you or people backed you. I do feel some of you may be selling businesses, but applying that energy to new situations. If you're currently not working, I do feel, again, you're considering a different approach to attain employment. Some of you are looking outside of the box with employment and wanting to go out on your own with a business venture. It's quite a unique one. It's different. It's like it may be a traditional position, but you're changing it up and tweaking it. Your health. You may have an energy from spirit coming to you when you're sleeping. It's somebody you loved that's passed over. I feel, mentally speaking, internally and spiritually, your heart's speaking to you, but you're torn between your heart and tradition. This loved one who's passed over, if you can see, she's got the triangle, which is near the heart, but it's also the base chakra, family related. There may have been an ailment in your family that you're checking up on within your own DNA. For those of you who have a loved one who's passed over, I feel they're trying to give you divine guidance. This is through your third eye, your crown, your heart chakra. You may feel conflicted due to paradigms and family in a way in which to proceed forward. Some of you may have a romantic interest of a different culture. This can be challenging you as well to a degree, depending on where you are spiritually. You can be getting some clarity in relation to your health or your path that you're wanting. And again, I am feeling this coming through in your dream state. Some of you may have something in mind connected to your health at the lower frequency. It's like I'm seeing a makeover. and really wanting to get back on track at a health level as to where you want to be. Some of you, it might be due to a wedding or a function, but I see a time frame. You've given yourself 7 months to actually, you know, balance this out for yourselves, for those of you who that's relevant. Whatever you're changing, it may have hindered your growth spiritually. And it might be the spiritual aspect of the reason why health directly was impacted. Can be mentally, at a heart chakra level, or family. But I do feel you had a few separate dynamics last year and you're still in recovery mode moving through. You have the tools in order to deal with things, but you're still trying to get quite grounded. Other people around you, they may not be putting in as much effort as you would like them to, and this can be causing some conflict. So there may be frustrations as to people over-delegating to you, yet not taking accountability for their own frequencies. You can also feel quite judged by people around you at the moment, so you're cautious about how you're presenting things. I do feel you assessing things. You see the beauty in them as human beings, but you're wondering if they're going to see that frequency in you. So it can be problematic at a temporary level. But again, any lessons that are directly coming to you are for you to own your power to create those healthy boundaries. Your family dynamic, there is an imbalance within the give and take. Some of them, and it's interesting because sometimes when I hear this in a reading, and when I spiritually tune into it, sometimes there's an inability due to a dynamic to give. It's not that they don't want to, it's that there can be 3D, there can be spiritual reasons, there can be mental reasons, scheduling. Try and see the truth of the situation, regardless of the giving and receiving. If you can open the communication, especially with the unseen. Some of it is you're seeing one side of the fence, you're not necessarily seeing the other side of the fence. But I feel you feeling slightly different. Or perhaps for some of you, the black sheep of the family. I do feel communication with the connections you have is important, but you may want to meditate upon it prior to jumping in the hot pot to actually resurrect those situations. Some of you, there may be quarrels in relation to something. Can be power, assets within the family. I do feel there was an imbalance at some point where more was given to another than you, or vice versa. Some of you also are going to move, and it can be quite far away. It can be also quite unexpected. So do be prepared for that, for those of you that's relevant. Travel, yeah, movement, connected to passion. It's either going to be at an employment level, and again, I'm hearing quite heavily, I do feel this is romantic related. It also could be for you spiritually, very separately, for you to get your power back in your life. You feel a need to move away from certain dynamics. This can be within any area of your life, but the movement physically is coming through. Some of you may also be moving towards a high vibration soulmate or a twin flame. Others of you, you're coming into your own and you're realizing that you have more power in a situation than another, and you're taking your power back. It's asking you to have patience with this situation and that you can actually generate the income in order to make these dreams come through. And the travel, so to speak, at a very separate level can be your spiritual travel of you directly understanding that you can achieve certain goals without the assistance of others. Although I do feel there will be energies coming towards you to assist you, and especially at a romantic level. For those of you who are already coupled, yes, that's there, but it's also showing you where you have power. Now, left, right, for those of you who are on the fence in life, can be in any area, but a lot of what was coming through in this card does feel romance. And we haven't even got to the Venus section. Regardless of whether you're coupled or not, you can be assessing a past scenario, be it with the current partner you're with or potentially a previous person. your heart feels that you're nurturing it. So there's almost this energy coming on where it can be two ways. It can be you're holding it in place because you feel spiritually other people haven't taken care of it, or you're directly holding it like the flame for a direct person and nobody else can get in, but it's boxed. I do feel you're coherent about it in the way they are looking directly down at the chest. And I also feel an infinity with this person. The 8 for you has come up twice. I'm also seeing an energy of twins. And this can be physically twin flames or twin children. That could be within the person's family, within yours, or potentially so, in a sense of what you could potentially birth. Again, I do feel there was a shift connected to the eclipse, and it's really moving. You do know what you want, okay? So even if you're in a left or right situation, I feel for most of you, it's not that you don't know what you want. It's more that you're trying to work out how to do it quietly. I feel you're trying to be gentle with people around you, but you're also trying to be gentle with yourself because of the way you feel, you know, after having healed yourself. In your Venus house, again, I'm feeling due to heartbreak, you can be on guard temporarily to assess what your ideal partnership is, what it looks like. Now, the Venus house doesn't just have to be connected to romance. It can be your passions, your desires, you know, what you're wanting to grow, what you're wanting to invest in at an emotional, financial, spiritual level. I do feel you're really wanting something that has the chemistry as well as the spiritual connection. And I feel for some of you, if you're in a different frequency dealing with another individual and you don't feel in alignment with them, I do feel you're delaying movement. I'm hearing as soon as you end that chapter, a new one's starting. So it's not going to be as tumultuous as you think. It's just about being in your truth connected to it so it can naturally flow. You're going to have to keep balance with your family though. I feel you may have put it on the back burner and has been something well overdue to directly be dealt with. I do feel you'll be looking at changing up the aspect of employment, but at the same time waiting for the correct time, I'm hearing. You also might be saving for a holiday, and definitely I can see a potential 3 holidays coming up. One will be more that it may be booked, but it'll be moved upon in the following year. So it's a long-term goal over a short-term goal. Those of you who are separating, I do feel you will have clarity connected to Valentine's Day. You know, as to how things are going to be, how you feel. Some of you who are in a relationship may be going away for that time frame with the partner to open your heart and heal a situation if you've had adversity. It may bring the gentleness out in the connection, but it's going to give you clarity as to which way you wish to proceed. Pull one extra card and then I'll see you during the month for the live sessions. Overall, I feel you're waiting on information. Try and understand that you may temporarily feel this. It might be you're trying to take accountability for other people's area of what they haven't done, so that you're it's almost like having compassion, but you need to have compassion for yourself as well. There are 2 paths you potentially can choose. Not one is wrong because they will all end up being at the same location. It's whether you want to take the long road or the short road. It's like, how do you want to deal with it? You really are at a 360, and it is connected to everything you're passionate about, everything you love. And that it really feels quite heavy in a sense that everything's at stake in your mind. So you want to get it right. You want to get it balanced so that you can have a happy 2019. I'll see you on the other side. Love and light.